Hello, Susanna here from The Good Property Company. I am being a total geek. I'm about to go out for supper with my friends, and Rachel's behind the camera videoing. She might say hello. And we're probably going to talk property. It's Friday night, it's summer, lovely. But I also want to share some bits and pieces with you. I think hopefully what might be quite interesting for you is when we look at our stats, they're likely to be very similar to your stats. It may be we've done a couple more deals, so we've got a kind of a broader ability to do a statistical analysis, but I want to share some of the stats that we're discovering as we review our work. So when you're running a property business or any business, remember, plan, do, review. What us entrepreneurs do is we plan and we do, and we occasionally forget to sit down and review. But you know, like was it Einstein that said doing the same thing again and again is a definition, and expecting a different outcome is a definition of insanity. So what's really important is that you review your work and then say what went well, what went badly, how can we improve? And Ash and I have been doing that at the moment. We've been doing that today, reviewing all the 209 deals that we sourced so far. So this one is about what happens when the vendor wants more money. How often does it happen? Well, rather interestingly, not very often. According to our records, 8 times out of 209 deals. Not a big deal, is it? That's 3.8%. So under 5%. Isn't that interesting? So we're buying discounted deals in a very wealthy area, and less than 4% of our vendors say, no thank you, I'm changing my mind, I want more money. So out of those, we had one early one, and actually that was completely our fault, and I would strongly suggest you never do this. We were buying a deal very early on for an investor. It fell out of bed. Somebody else came along and offered more money, then that fell out of bed, so they came back to us, and at the time our investor said, could you get us a greater discount? And we felt really bad about doing that, but we're like, all right then, we will. So we asked for £1,000 off, and actually close to the point of buy-in, the vendor said, you know what, get lost. Basically, excuse my language, off. And we kind of deserved it, and we really were taught a lesson. Once you've agreed a price, never change, because I'm sure that's why we've got less than 4% of people trying to change the price on us last minute. And actually on sales, I've only had one change the price on me ever, and that's because we've got such a strong product. Normally we'd have said yes, that's you know, get lost. But interestingly, only less than 4%, 3.8% have changed the price on others. The next two were mine. 2.5 grand. It was a joint venture that Ash and I did. I did all the funding, he did all the work. At the last minute I had to pay an extra 2.5 grand. No big deal. And the next one actually was mine again. I had to pay an extra 8 grand. But when you think about the circumstances of that one, we'd been babysitting it for about a year. The market had gone up very significantly, and I actually got really lucky. So I was really delighted to pay an extra 8 grand, because in our valuation, we said it would be worth 285. It actually got Rick's survey valued 6 months later after I renovated it at 330. So despite me having to pay an extra 8 grand, I got an extra, well, I got 203 I got an additional, if you like, 45 grand from what we thought it was worth to actually what it became worth. So that's quite good. Then I haven't got a figure for this one actually. I need to get Ash to do a couple more figures for me, but we were bidding against a couple that wanted it for their home. There's not much you can do with that. We decided it was still a good deal, but we had to go up. And then I've got a couple that here that I don't have figures for. And then here's one again, it went up by 5 grand. Why? Because it was pre-auction. So although you may have a pre-auction deal agreed, pre-auction means you're buying before the auction. So you're trying to get it exchanged, you know, under offer and exchanged before the auction happens. It is completely open to the elements and anyone can bid in. So that's interesting, isn't it? Out of 209 deals, 8, according to our records, went over, had the vendor say, could we have a little bit more money? And there's kind of good reasons for at least 50% of that. So really, what does that tell you? It tells you that if you get a deal under offer, you are statistically incredibly likely to be able to buy it at that price. It's less than 4% of our 209 deals went over price. So not bad, is it? So I would suggest that's really not something that you guys need to worry about too much, but I would also suggest that when you're doing your own deals, I want you to go back and evaluate those deals and evaluate what happened, what did you offer, when you got it under offer and it was chundering on through, which is the analysis I've done. I've looked at all the deals that we got under offer, chundering through, 3.8% of them asked for more money. Something we can live with, I think. So good luck with your own property investing, and see you soon. I'm off to tea. Bye.